There's a spot I know, in the woods, not far from here, where the ground is always damp, in a near-perfect circle of greasy black earth, surrounded by slender, dead white trees. I come by this spot from time to time in my wanderings. It always gives me an uneasy feeling. I've read enough fairy tales and seen enough horror films to know that such places are to be avoided at all costs. Usually, I just quicken my pace and put some distance between me and the spot, but on a hot summer day, not too long ago, I ventured near the spot again, only this time I stopped. I paused there, in the middle of the woods, and just listened. There was nothing. It was completely silent. No birds, no insects, no rustling leaves or sound of distant far-off traffic. Nothing. I just stood there for a while, lost in thought. Before I realized I had been staring directly into the black spot, I felt it was sucking me in. I felt dizzy and had to literally force myself, to look away. Shaking off the effect, I decided it was best to get far away from here. That's when I heard her. That's when I heard the little girl's giggle. Usually, little girl giggles do not elicit such terror in me, but right then, that was absolutely the worst sound for me to be hearing. I looked back at the spot, but there was nothing. I stood silent for a good minute or two before I could calm down. Staring into the circle, I felt more uneasy about it than ever before. I can't really tell you why. I stepped closer to it. Something was pulling me that day. I stood between two of the tall sentinel trees on the very edge of it. I had never been this close to it before. My heart was pounding as I stepped over the threshold and into the black spot. It was immediately cooler. That was the first thing I felt like stepping into a crisp autumn day. As my feet swished into the soft, moist ground, 3 or 4 steps in, I noticed it was not really so much black, but a very, very, very dark red. It stained my boots like cranberries, or... No, not want to think about that. The farther into the circle I went, the colder it got. By the time I reached the center, I could literally see my breath. I shivered, but not from the cold. I felt odd and dizzy, like I was drunk. Standing in the center of the spot, looking out in all directions, I could not see any woods beyond the dead white trees. Everything else had gone dark. No sound, no warmth, no life. It was a place out of time. I was having trouble seeing anything. My own hand looked grey and lifeless to me. I was having a very hard time thinking straight, and I knew I had to get out of the circle before it was too late. It took every bit of my concentration to walk from the center. I took maybe 5 small steps before I heard it again, that giggle. Only this time, it was much closer. I knew it was right behind me. I spun around, but was not at all prepared for what I saw. No corpse-like witch, no demon child, no... It was just a little girl. Blonde hair and a pink denim jacket. She had a turtle backpack. Yellow boots. Immediately, all of the effects of the circle were gone, and I was standing there in the normal world looking at a very cute little girl in the woods. Yep. I was confused as hell. But then she looked up at me very seriously and said, I have to show you now. I have to show you how it happened. These words came like fingernails across the blackboard of my heart, caused such a panic in me, I nearly lost it right then and there. I think I muttered something to the effect of, that's okay, as I turned and hurried away. My stride broke into an all-out run as I tried to put as much distance between me and what had just happened. It was a good 20 minutes before I would allow myself to slow down even a bit and look behind me. I stopped, breathless, looking in every direction for the girl in the pink denim jacket. I didn't see her anywhere. What the fuck? I thought. What the fuck just happened? I got in my car and quickly started there. With the doors closed and the engine running, I finally allowed myself to start calming down. As I drove away, I began to feel better and soon enough wrote the whole experience off as something odd to write about. I began to laugh out loud. Well, that was a few weeks ago, and although I made it out of the woods, I have been haunted by horrible dreams ever since. I find myself back in the spot every night, staring at the little girl. I wake in terror, covered in sweat. It's been pretty horrible. But tonight I had the dream again. Only this time, the girl was not there. She had left the circle. The very idea of this gave me such panic that I literally woke up screaming. I decided to make some tea to calm my nerves. I went to the kitchen, I put the kettle on, and then, for whatever reason, I glanced out the window. My whole body convulsed as I saw out there across the street, under the giant old elm, just catching the light from a nearby street lamp, there stood a little girl with blonde hair and a pink denim jacket. I ran to the bedroom to get dressed. As I was putting on my shoes, I swore I heard my kitchen door open. And then I heard my kitchen door close. It suddenly seemed very cold in here, too. I looked out of my bedroom door, down the hallway to the kitchen, and the light was out. I was certain I had left it on. I walked cautiously over to the doorway into the kitchen, where it was so cold I could see my breath. The whole room was dark, except for the fire from the stove. In the center of the room, I could just make out the outline of a small figure. Actually, I couldn't see it, but I knew it was wearing a pink denim jacket. As the kettle began to slowly whistle, I heard a small girl's voice. I have to show you now. I have to show you how it happened. There's a spot I know in the woods. It's not far from here. The ground is always damp in a near-perfect circle of greasy black earth, surrounded by slender dead white trees. That's That's where I wait now, you see. I wait every day, and every night too. I just wait. I wait for someone to come. Some careless wanderer, like myself. Someone stupid enough to enter the circle. And that's when I'll show them. I'll show them how it happened.